Recently, a business deal I'd been working on fell apart. It was a significant deal involving roughly $200,000. It didn't fall apart with some dramatic explosion, it just sort of unraveled, fizzled out. Just one more reminder that life does not always go as planned, and that the future we imagined can drastically and unceremoniously change, leaving a hollowed out feeling behind. I'd spent part of the day replaying it over and over. What did I miss? What could I have done differently? What did I lose? Was it worth it? By the next morning, I was tired of listening to myself think, so I did what I often do when I need perspective. I went for a walk in a cemetery. Memorial Day has a way of doing that to me. The flags, the names, the dates, the reminders that every life eventually becomes a dash between two numbers. As I walked, I found myself thinking about a poem written by an old friend of mine, Ben. Ben and I worked together in Afghanistan in 2013. He was a British civilian contractor. Today, he writes award winning poetry. And if you enjoy poetry, I genuinely recommend looking up Ben's work. One of his poems, Bone Stories, reflects on Portugal's Chapel of Bones. The place is exactly what it sounds like, a chapel lined with thousands and thousands of human skulls and bones. The dead are literally built into the walls. But the poem is not really about the chapel. It's about two mummified bodies, a man and a woman, according to the old story. For generations, a story surrounded them. Depending on which version you hear, they were cursed, condemned to hang between heaven and earth, neither buried nor released, suspended forever between judgment and mercy. It's a haunting image. Then later evidence suggested the story might not be true at all. The bones remained. The story changed. I could not stop thinking about that. How much of life is spent trying to separate reality from the narratives we create? How often does disappointment come from watching one of those narratives fall apart? As I walked among the graves, my thoughts drifted from Ben's poem to friends I met through military service and war, now scattered around the globe. Ben, who once built trust in Afghanistan simply by remembering people, became the poet. Rob always had a smile and a joke. He was the first to volunteer, no matter how hard, dangerous, or stupid the mission. He now spends his mornings in hotel gyms while traveling for work for the VFW, posting photos with the same caption: be blessed, be encouraged, and keep getting after it. Sadie, who once photographed American men and women in combat, now photographs the tiny worlds most never notice: the secret lives of bees, butterflies, and dragonflies. Gonzalez, better known as Gonzo to everyone, transformed from a warrior into the undercover monk, gathering and sharing wisdom from faith, philosophy, and hard experience, or reminding people to protect your peace, and his post in his memes and reels. Dave was the can-do guy. If it needed done, he called Dave. He followed his love for telling the American soldier's story into the studios, onto sets, and behind microphones as an actor, a VO actor, and a film critic whose YouTube channel asks a simple question: see it, stream it, or skip it. The storyteller became the performer. Stephanie spent a lifetime serving her country and rose to the highest levels of Army public affairs. After reaching the pinnacle of her profession, she retired. What moves me most is not her career. It's what came after. She found love. She found Sean, another military friend of mine. I see photographs of them on sailboats, in the mountains, beside rivers, building a future together, free from deployment orders and mission briefs. The leader became the builder of a new life. And me. I write essays. I walk through cemeteries. I study why people flourish and what holds us back. The question asker became the researcher. Taken alone, any one of us might seem a little strange. a poet writing about bones, an army photographer chasing insects, a monk in his talk of peace, an actor chasing stories, a veteran posting gym photos, a retired soldier falling in love, a man wandering through cemeteries and along mountain trails, thinking about meaning. Individually, maybe we look eccentric. Together, we make a kind of sense. Because all of us came home carrying questions about suffering, courage, strength, sacrifice, and what is worth protecting. When we were younger, we thought we understood courage. It looked like uniforms, deployments, body armor, and an M4 carbine. Some of it did. But the older I get, the less certain I am that courage only looks like that. Maybe courage also looks like writing a poem, getting back in the gym, protecting your peace in a world determined to steal it, pursuing a dream, daring to love, planning the future you finally get to choose. We spent years fighting for our country, friends, missions, survival, and meaning. Maybe we're still fighting, only now the fight looks different. We're fighting cynicism, despair, and the slow decay of wonder, fighting for peace, love, meaning, and the courage to stay open. The longer I walked, the more I realized none of us were simply expressing ourselves. We were trying to communicate, trying to take the things that mattered most to us and put them into a language someone else might understand. Poetry, photography, stories, wisdom, encouragement, research, love. Different forms, same impulse. And despite all the awards, promotions, titles, and accomplishments any of us may have accumulated over the years, those things are not what define us. They matter, but they are not the deepest thing. The deeper thing is that after everything we saw, blood, death, destruction, loss, suffering, disappointment, and absurdity, we are still here, still reaching towards beauty in places where beauty has no obvious reason to survive. What stayed with me were the smiles. Not naive smiles, earned smiles. The kind of smiles people carry when joy has survived contact with reality. As I walked through the cemetery, I found myself wondering what my friends were doing right now. I imagined Ben, at home in England, wrestling with a line of poetry over Earl Grey. Rob encouraging someone before sunrise with a bottle of water in the gym. Sadie in her garden, morning dew still clinging to the leaves, searching for beauty through the lens of her camera. Gonzo uncovering another piece of ancient wisdom worth sharing. Stephanie and Sean sitting together over coffee, talking about the day ahead and the life they are building. Dave is probably asleep. Actors don't get out of bed before 10 a.m. Though I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He may have been working on a movie until 4 in the morning. And there I was, walking among headstones in northeastern Oklahoma, carrying my own questions. Yesterday, a business deal fell apart. A vision of the future I'd been anticipating suddenly dissolved. That happens. Life does that. Ben's poem was still with me. The bones remain. The story changes. Maybe that's true of all of us. The years change us. The uniforms come off. We keep revising our understanding of who we are. But as I walked among the graves, I found myself feeling something I did not expect. Gratitude. Not because everything worked out, not because I suddenly had answers, but because I realized I was not looking at survivors. I was looking at people who were flourishing. And maybe, despite yesterday's disappointment, I am too. After the blood and the grief and the absurdity and the years of trying to come home, my friends are still smiling. They're still searching for meaning, still building lives shaped by peace rather than bitterness, and still creating futures that testify, quietly but stubbornly, that loss does not get the final word. And I find comfort knowing that my military friends are still out there doing strange and beautiful things.